Hello, the Big D back and ready as I get ready to show you my mock draft 2.0. Yes, Big D's mock draft 2.0 is right around the corner on the Driving to the Top Productions and the Spunky Something Sports YouTube page. You know what? We're 1 week away from the NFL draft, and I've got more drafts to show. So, things have changed. There could be trades. I mean, who knows what's going to happen between now and next Thursday night in Pittsburgh. But you know what? I think it's going to be interesting. I think we have an idea of who's going one, but you know what? After that, I'm not sure what's going to happen. So you know what? I love these mock draft databases where you can be the de facto GM. So obviously I picked all the teams, one round, 26, 6, enter the draft room. So you ready? Let's go. Who am I going to take at 1? The Las Vegas Raiders. They're surprised if absolutely no one are going to take Fernando Mendoza. I mean, south of the Raiders telling us they're going to take Fernando Mendoza, well, they're going to take Fernando Mendoza. I mean, he's the consensus one, and it's and there's no surprise here. We know Mendoza's going 1. The question is, what else would the Raiders do? But I honestly think the Raiders will be interesting with Fernando Mendoza. I like Clint Kubiak, who knows, with Tom Brady walking there, GM, spent a lot of money in the offseason. I mean, a lot of money. I mean, could the Raiders be interesting, which might be the goal this year? 2 with the Jets. Have heard some rumors about David Bailey, but in the end, I believe the Jets take Orville Reese. I mean, I think Orville Reese is more upside, and I believe that the New York Jets need upside. They need more talent on this team. I mean, the Jets did not have a single interception. And yes, Reese may be more boom, more bust, but I think the Jets need more talent. And so at 3, I have the Arizona Cardinals taking David Bailey. Exactly the opposite. I think a safer pick, maybe not the upside, but a high floor. Not really great against the run, but Bailey, I think, could be a double-digit sack guy for a while. 4, Tennessee. Honestly, this is the hardest spot for me in the whole first round because I have no idea what the Titans do. I personally think the Titans should look at getting one of these defensive players. Sonny Styles, maybe a corner, maybe a lineman. But Jeremiah Love intrigues me. Does he intrigue me enough that I'll have the Titans select them in my mock draft? No. I believe the Tennessee Titans take Sonny Styles at 4. Now we get to the first of 2 mock trades that I have made in my mock draft. Yes, I have made trades. I believe the New York Giants will look to trade back. And you know what team intrigues me going into draft night? The Miami Dolphins with 7 picks in the first 3 rounds. I think Miami's going to be very aggressive, and I see the Dolphins taking a couple of those 3rd-round picks, moving to the 105, and taking Ohio State wide receiver Cornell Tate. I believe the Miami Dolphins need a wide receiver for Malik Willis. And Cardinal Tate's the best one on my board. And I think Miami gets its Jalen Water replacement. And the Giants potentially move back, and we'll see what happens taking in just a minute. So at 6, the Browns. Well, they miss out on Cardinal Tate, but they do get a big offensive line upgrade in France Mariota. I think the Browns would take Cardinal Tate if he's there, but not a bad consolation prize. I think Mariota could be a right tackle, guard. Not sure about left tackle, but I think will be a hammer on the right side potentially. 7 with Washington. What do I have the Commanders doing? Taking Jeremiah Love, because now I think 7 is the area where Jeremiah Love goes. Maybe I'm biased toward a running back going forward because I'm thinking, well, I don't really want to pay a running back that high, but I think the Commanders need to give Jaden Danielson a weapon, some support, some youth on that team. So I have the Commanders taking Jeremiah Love. Boy, that would be a scary backfield with those 2 guys. 8 with the Saints. This pick's going to be a little different. I have the Saints taking Ruben Bain. I know the off-the-field issues with the car accident may scare teams short arms, but in the end, the New Orleans Saints need to get younger on defense, and they need to get more pass rush. So, I mean, whether he's Cam Jordan's ultimate replacement, who knows, but I have the Saints taking Bain to bring the pain and gain some stains on the quarterback's uniform. 9 with the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh my goodness, the cornerbacks delight me here. Do they delight me enough? These guys, I mean, Kansas City at 9 is a tough one because Caleb Downs, Andy Reid's defense, Monsoon Delane, but Pat Mahomes lost 2 Super Bowls because of bad offensive line play. And Andy Reid used to be an old lineman back in the day. I'm not saying Andy would preach this pick, but I have, Andy Reid's a Brigham Young alum. There might be a holy war with this pick because I have the Chiefs taking Spencer Fonner, the tackle/guard from Utah. Chiefs have to get better on the O-line. Drafted Simmons last year from Ohio State. I think the Chiefs have to get a lineman this year. Lineman and a corner with they have 2 picks. Now at 10. Caleb Downs is way too good of a football player to fall the top 10. And the Bengals need football players. Caleb Downs can be, Kyle Hamilton 2.0, maybe a little less athletic version, but I think makes sense here. Now at 11. This is a tough one because I think that I could see the Giants moving back again. I could honestly see the Giants moving back a couple times. But if the Giants are forced to stay here, I think they take Monsoon Delane, the corner, just get guys on defense. Get a number 1 corner for the next 10 years. And so the Cowboys are bummed that they missed out on the LSU corner, but get Gerard McCoy, the Tennessee corner. Obviously, McCoy didn't play at all this year due to a knee injury, but in 24 looked like a top 5-10 pick. So if he's healthy, I think the Cowboys get a steal here at 12. 13 with the Rams. Makai Lemon just looks like a Ram player. He reminds me so much of Amon-Ra with Puka, off the field issues, Devontae Adams, and Puka's injuries, I think Makai Lemon plus his punt return skills will be needed in LA. Just somebody to catch the ball, please. I mean, after all, the Rams lost an NFC championship game based on an inability to catch the ball. So, Makai Lemon, you won't have to move anywhere from USC to the Rams, right? To England. So 14 with the Ravens. I think offensive line is definitely an area of need, but Kenyon Sadiq just feels too much like a Raven pick. The Ravens need more weapons on offense, and given Kenyon Sadiq would allow the Ravens to have two tight ends, just like with Andrews and Likely. I think together with Lamar, Sadiq, open up more passing lanes. That way teams can't just double, save Flowers. Teams can't just pony up against the run. Sadiq opens up a lot of areas for that Raven offense. 15, I'm going to give the Tampa Bay Bucks Akeem Mesidor, the other Miami pass rusher. Tampa's got to get better on defense. And be honest with you, better at getting after the other team quarterback. It seemed like every game the Bucks played was like 38-35. Tampa needs to stop the other team from scoring so many points. And Mesidor, while being the other guy, showed he's a pretty good player in his own right. So I think Mesidor at 15 makes a lot of sense. 16, this is where I think the New York Jets help their offense. I think the Jets take Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver from Arizona State. New York's got to get better everywhere. And I think this is a high, again, this is, a high risk, high reward pick. I mean, Tyson's dealt with injuries in college, but if this kid's healthy, I think Jordan Tyson could be the steal of the draft at 16. 17, the Detroit Lions have to get an offensive lineman at 17. I have Detroit taking Caden Proctor, the huge, and I mean huge offensive tackle from Alabama. I mean, this guy is, depending on where he ate lunch, could be 350 or 360, but Proctor really athletic. Like, not sure he'll play left tackle, but with Penei Sewell there, he might not have to play left tackle, but I think Proctor, if he's whatever side he plays, will be a needed upgrade for the Lions and a really good investment for Brad Holmes. 18 with the Vikings. Who am I going to have in Minnesota? I'm going Dylan Tiedemann, the safety from Oregon. I mean, with Harrison Smith gone, the Vikings have to get younger in the secondary. Tiedemann's a really good safety. It's funny, we're talking off-ball linebackers, safeties, running backs, tight ends. Not really talking. I mean, yeah, there'll be pass rushers, tackles, not a lot of wide receivers necessarily, but trust me, there'll be some wide receivers going at this point in the draft. And Tiedemann gives Minnesota a really useful chess piece on defense. 19. So now we're in the playoff teams. Carolina's offense, everybody's going to say, what about a wide receiver here? I think that Carolina Panthers go get Monroe Freely. Carolina's got an injury with one of their tackle. Let me see. Ikem Iwanu ruptured his patella tendon and may have trouble being ready for week 1. So Carolina's got to get better got to get guys there, and I think Freeland could play both sides and he'd be really useful. Tons of big time experience in college. I think makes a lot of sense for the Panthers at 19. At 20, already gave the Cowboys a corner. So I'm going to give Dallas Keldrick Falk. Cowboys have to get a pass rusher at some point. And I think Falk makes a lot of sense. The Cowboys don't need to move up 3 spots or 8 spots for a running back. But honestly, I think the Cowboys have to get better at stopping the other team and really get younger on defense. Maybe a tackle if one's there, but I have the Cowboys taking a lineman. 21, no, I do not have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking a quarterback in this mock draft because I have the Steelers taking Omar Cooper Jr., the wide receiver from Indiana. Pittsburgh needs a number 2 receiver alongside DK Metcalf. And Cooper was a really useful wide receiver in Indiana this year. I think a really good outside receiver, big-time red zone target, caught that key touchdown in the Penn State game. I think you put Cooper there with DK Metcalf, assuming Aaron Rodgers is back. That's a pretty good combo, really good combo. So Chargers at 22, I have them taking the Penn State lineman Olivaka Ione, the interior lineman from Penn State. Justin Herbert will love this pick, and Jim Harbaugh, of course, being a former Michigan coach, will like this pick too. Chargers need to get better on the O-line, and Justin Herbert needs to avoid getting sacked. So I like that pick. Philadelphia Eagles at 23. Philly's drafted a lot of young defensive stars the last few years. I think that's going to change this year. I think the Eagles have to get a Lane Johnson replacement. I have them taking Caleb Loma, the tackle from Utah, the other tackle / guard from Utah. Just give Philly a young piece there. The Eagles have a veteran line, maybe getting up in age. Who knows if Lane Johnson will play beyond this year? But Philadelphia's got to get younger on the offensive line. So, 24. The Cleveland Browns are going to take in my mock draft Kevin Concepcion. Browns wide receiving core right now is atrocious. I mean, Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman. I mean, yeah, they have young tight end. Browns. Noah Fannin, Harold Fannin Jr. from Bowling Green. Thank you. But the Browns need to get better at wide receiver. And honestly, where Cleveland's drafting, I think that second first-round pick, if the Browns don't take a wide receiver at 6, becomes a wide receiver. That could be where Concepcion comes off the ball. Bears at 25. I think the Bears have to get a defensive lineman at some point. I think Peter Woods from Clemson makes sense. Whether it's interior or exterior, the Bears have to get a lineman at some point. 26. So you heard that the Big D projects 2 mock day trades. I believe the Buffalo Bills are going to look to trade out of this pick. The Bills don't have a second-round pick because of their DJ Moore trade. So I could see Buffalo trading back. Maybe Seattle looks to trade back without many second or third day picks. And I think the Arizona Cardinals will look to make a move. And move back in the first round. And let me see if I could. Where are you? see, positions. I have Arizona taking Ty Simpson with the 26th pick in a mock trade. Arizona really needs a young quarterback, and I believe Ty Simpson's a first-round pick. Whether he ends up in the first round, who knows? But in the end, I think the Arizona Cardinals need a young quarterback. I mean, Jacoby Brissett's fine as a bridge, but Arizona needs to get a young quarterback. And honestly, I think Arizona will look to get that fifth-year option, and Buffalo could get another pick or maybe a pick swap. We'll see. 27. I have the San Francisco 49ers taking Denzel Boston, the wide receiver from Washington. Looking at San Francisco's receiving core right now, it's a mess. I mean, Ricky Pearsall and everyone else. And honestly, I don't know if Brandon Ayuk's coming back. George Kittle's coming off a torn Achilles. Christian McCaffrey's coming off a huge workload. And Brock Purdy needs more help. I mean, yeah, San Francisco may need help on defense, but the 49ers did so well drafting those young rookies last year. I think one or two of those. If the 49ers just stay healthy on defense this year, I think they'll be fine. So, and you know what? Can't have enough receivers in that division. So 28, Houston Texans. I have Houston taking Blake Miller, the tackle from Clemson. I mean, Houston's offensive line's a mess. I mean, C.J. Stroud really showed a lot of regression last year. And honestly, yes, wide receiver would be a need, but the Texans drafted two rookies. Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel, plus Tank Dell could be back. I mean, I think Houston's got to get an offensive lineman at some point. Maybe they move up. Who knows? I mean, Houston's got an extra second-round pick because of the Laramie Thompson move, so we'll see. So 29, Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Chiefs in this case take Adrian Terrell, the corner from Clemson. I mean, I think Kansas City's going to be one of the most fascinating teams to watch. The Chiefs don't have a lot of early picks, so would the Chiefs move up and maybe get, probably not Jeremiah Love, but maybe the Chiefs take 9, 29, and other picks for one of the pass rushers? Because you imagine what Steve Spagnuolo would do. So 30, the Miami Dolphins take one of my favorite players in the draft, Emmanuel McNeil, the safety from Toledo. Hey, last time a team drafted a Toledo defensive back that worked well, Quinion Mitchell and the Eagles. And I think the Dolphins need to get guys everywhere. It doesn't matter. It's BPA. Outside maybe pass rusher or running back. I think the Dolphins need to get guys everywhere, and I think this defensive lineman makes a lot of sense there. So 31, I believe that New England Patriots take Caden McDonald. I mean, to me, Caden McDonald, really good interior defensive lineman. I think his potential somewhere between 25 and 35. Whether he's the first, I think he's the first round pick, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's like the first or second pick on day 2. And with the Seattle Seahawks, I think the Seahawks would love to move out of this pick, but I have them taking Massey and the tackle from Arizona State. So, the Seahawks need to get some offensive line depth, struggle a little bit, dealt with some injuries, plus not the offensive line wasn't necessarily great in the playoffs. So So with this draft, I have Mendoza. The Raiders taking Mendoza. Jets taking Reeves. Cardinals taking Bailey. Titans, Sonny Styles. Miami moving in a trade for Cornell Tate. Browns taking France Mariota. Washington taking Jeremiah Love. Saints taking Ruben Bain. Chiefs taking Spencer Fonner. Bengals taking Caleb Downs. Giants taking Monsoon Delane. Cowboys, Jamon McCoy. The Rams, Mekhi Lemon. Kenyon Sadiq to the Ravens at 14. 15 Bucks taking Akeem Mesidor. 16 Jordan Tyson. 17 Caden Proctor to the Lions. Then 18 Dylan Tiedemann to the Vikings. Monroe Freeland to the Panthers at 19. Kelvin Falk to the Cowboys at 20. Omar Cooper to the Seals at 21. Then the Penn State lineman at 22. Caleb Wildman at 23. Kevin Concepcion at 24. Peter Woods with the Bears at 25. Ty Simpson in a trade with the Bills as Arizona takes Ty Simpson 26. Denzel Boston, the Washington corner, 27. Blake Miller, tackle, 28. Avian Terrell, 29. Emmanuel McNeil, 30. Caden McDonald, 31. And then the Arizona State tackle, 32. So, I've got changes. I mean, I still have two quarterbacks. I mean, who knows? Maybe Ty Simpson drops in the second round. I do have a couple mock day trades, so this doesn't mean I am totally against moves happen, but we'll see. I think there's gonna be some action, and you know what? Can't wait for the NFL drafts. One of my favorite times of the year, and I'm intrigued how many trades we do see in Pittsburgh next week. So this is the Big D signing off for now, and you can catch me in another draft sometime soon, whether it be Underdog, DraftKings, or mock drafting here on the Driving the Top Productions and the Spunky Spectrum Sports YouTube page. But this is Dylan.